Well, hello everybody and welcome to this Thursday's MBE Movie News. I am your host, John, and I'm here to discuss some very alluring movie news indeed. A whole array of different kinds of movie news, but look, as you can probably see, try to sort this mic out, this shithead just won't centre in the shot. But as you can see, getting back to it, Wonder Woman 1984, that's the main story on today's show. It's all about the Gal Gadot, Patty Jenkins collaboration, and of course Chris Pine flung in for good measure, and a whole array of other pretty damn good actors in there too. It's going to be going straight to HBO Max in a sort of dual release style. It's going to go to theatres and it's going to go to HBO Max free for 1 month. Now I say free, nothing is ever free in this world, because if you're subscribing to HBO Max then you're paying for it, so it's not free. I hate that when people say that things are free when you're actually paying for them. But look, this is what the CEO, someone from Warner Brothers, has come out to say. It's the CEO of Warner Brothers, it's Ann Sarnoff, if I was correct. She says this is an amazing film that really comes to life on the big screen. Working with our partners in the exhibition community, we will provide that opportunity to consumers in the US where theatres are open. We realise that a lot of consumers if I can speak the Queen's English, a lot of consumers can't go back to the movies due to this pandemic. So we also want to give them the option to see Wonder Woman 1984 via our HBO Max platform. Now this is all very intriguing indeed. I of course spoke about the existential battle that theatres and the movie industry and how movies are consumed in general, how this battle they are facing in the midst of the COVID pandemic. I spoke about it earlier on this week, when obviously news broke that Cinemark had signed a deal with Universal to shorten the theatrical release window from, I think, 3 months originally down to 5 weeks. And this was for selected movies, of course, they says. That was a little caveat. But I says at the time, this was a sign that things are really starting to evolve. The consumption of movies is starting to evolve. Everything's changing in this pandemic. The way that people work, the way that people live their lives, the way that movies are consumed is changing. It's almost as if it's went on to, I don't know, steroids over the last 6 months. The natural progression in this industry. Because of course, as I said last week, it's something that's happened in music, it's something that's happened in other entertainment, other artistic mediums. Everything goes from analogue to digital, if I can speak, at one point or another. And this seems like this is again another huge step in that digital sort of direction. And of course they are saying rightly, Ann Sarnoff is correctly saying, they're giving the people the option here. This is why they're doing it. It's not a big huge experiment like Universal done with Trolls A World Tour, like Disney done with Disney's Mulan. This isn't a huge sort of guinea pig experiment at all. This is just giving the customers the choice, because when did a traditional studio in the vein and size of a Warner Brothers ever care about what the little man who goes in and watches their movies wants? They don't give a shit about that. This is all about testing the parameters of consumption, testing whether this movie can succeed on HBO Max, whether it can succeed on a sort of dual release format. We've seen it with Jay and Silent Bob, I think it was Jay and Silent Bob, either that or it was the Bill and Ted release. It released a dual sort of theatrical window and digital release at the same time. So they're just testing the waters. This is how I feel. This is why I feel they're doing it in a sense. And again, it's going to change the game, man, completely. But look, there's been a couple of interesting reactions to this. First up we have, I think, Gal Gadot. And she said this to say, I'll get back into my existentialism for the theatre industry afterwards. She says this, it's time, in block caps, it's time. We've all waited a long time for this one to come. I can't tell you how excited I am for all of you to see this movie. I'm excited too, Gal, because it's been delayed and delayed and delayed. This movie should have been out last year. This movie was finished last year, but Warner Brothers kept delaying it. And now we've hit a pandemic, and now it's the guinea pig for a digital cross-theatrical release thing. But look, I digress, she had this to say. For you all to see this movie, it wasn't an easy decision. And we never thought we'd have to hold on to the release for such a long time. But COVID rocked all of our worlds, it certainly did. It rocked my world for 10 days back in May. We feel the movie has never been so relevant, and we hope that it will bring some joy, hope and love to your hearts. I sincerely hope it does, but I'll get into why it may not for me. Wonder Woman 1984 is a special one for me, and I can only hope it will be as special to you too. we've put our hearts and our souls into it, and so you can watch it in theatres. They're doing an amazing job keeping it safe, and you can watch it on HBO Max from your homes. Sending you my love. Please keep safe and wear a mask. Happy holidays to all of us. Let the light shine. And well, look, Gal, I appreciate your sentiments there, but sadly we can't watch it in the theatres. We don't have the dual choice over here in the United Kingdom. We're getting back into a lockdown here in Scotland on Friday. Tomorrow, funnily enough. So I will not be able to watch this movie come December because these restrictions are taking place into the middle of next month, and then it'll drop down to a slightly lesser restriction for Christmas. I won't get to see this movie in the theatres here, and I'm not entirely sure whether I'll get to see it on HBO either, because we don't get HBO Max over here. They are sort of in a pact with the devil. That is Rupert Murdoch, Sky Media, Sky News, Sky, I don't know what the hell you call it, the Sky organisation anyway. They have the rights to various Warner Brothers HBO titles, so it's all up in the air just now. It's not been released or revealed from the studio, from anyone involved in this deal, what the script is for the United Kingdom, what the script is for the country I live in. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to get to see this movie at all. It may be that it gets delayed till next year and I have to wait to go into a theatre once COVID's died down. I would love to see this movie come to Sky though, I tell you that, because I'm also a subscriber to Sky, and I'd like to see this movie come what may, and I'd still happily go and support the movie again in the theatres next year if it releases then too. We will not get the dual release. But look, Patty Jenkins has been speaking about it too, and she's had this to say: the time has come. Is this a sort of concerted effort by everyone involved to put block caps in at different points in their statements? The time has come. Why are you shouting, Patty? At some point you have to choose to share any love and joy. You have to give over everything else. We love our movie, we love our fans. We truly hope that our film brings a little bit of joy and reprieve to all of you this holiday season. Well, it's not, Patty, because you've not announced what's happening here in the United Kingdom. Get your shit together. Second biggest movie market in the Western world. Get it announced. Watching theatres, block caps, they're hinting at you. Yeah, go and watch it in the theatres. Where it is made safe to do so, check out the great work theatres have done to make it so, and available in the safety of your home on HBO Max where it's not. Happy holidays to all of you. We hope you enjoy your film as much as we enjoyed making it. I sincerely hope I do enjoy it. Just the general vibe from the trailers, I feel like it is an improvement on the first movie, and I thought the first movie was one of the best DC EU movies made to date. I think Gal, limited actor though she is perfect for the role, and I'm glad that Chris Pine's coming back as Steve so that they can continue this romantic element moving forward. And he's just a great actor to bounce off of her too. He sort of guided her a little bit, and that's not me trying to mansplain or be misogynistic or anything like that. It's just fact, he's a superior actor. So I've got feelings that this will be a very successful release. I hope this experiment that Warner Brothers HBO Max are sort of conducting, I can't speak, it's been a long day guys, I hope it pays off for them. I hope that the theatres get their fair share, and that people who are not feeling safe enough and can actually get access to HBO Max do so. Final little quote I'm going to read is this one from AMC Theatres, and it's very conciliatory from them. Usually you'd expect them to come out with guns blazing, but I feel like this is just a sign of the times, a sign of AMC on their knees in a sense. A once proud company. I think they're sort of in cahoots with Cine World over here. They're the same company, one of the biggest theatre companies on the planet, and this is what they've got to say about this remarkable bit of news that's been released, perhaps maybe spelling the end of theatres, spelling the end of the theatre going experience in general. This is what they've had to say. For many months, AMC has been in active and deep dialogue with Warner Brothers to figure out how best this cinematic blockbuster could be seen at AMC Theatres in these unprecedented times. Given that atypical circumstances call for atypical economic relationships between studios and theatres and atypical windows in releasing strategies, AMC is fully on board for Warner Brothers' announcement. Now, what this tells me, even though it is conciliatory, and it's not at all how I'd expect a company like AMC, billions of dollars in debt, having to sell off assets to stay in liquidity till next year, whilst it's not what I'd expect, this tells me that they have been given something, some bone by Warner Brothers, by everyone involved in this. They have been told that this is a one-off situation. I feel like if it hadn't been like that, if they just told them that this was going to be a hit now from now on, that we're going to have dual releases in the theatres and digitally, I think they would have come out and kicked up quite a ruckus. But the fact that they're coming out like this and saying they back the decision, they're either completely on their knees and like a little bitch just willing to be a sycophant and go along with it no matter what, or they've been told that this is a one and done. Once COVID's over, we're getting back to the traditional theatrical release windows, we're getting back to the way it was. I don't know if that'll be the case though, man. It'll all depend on the success of this. If this really does boost subscribers for the HBO Max streaming service, then I can see Warner Brothers sticking with this. And now they've got the studios by the nuts. It's like that little guy, or that big guy, the little guy in Stir Crazy with the big guy at the start. They've got him by the nuts. I don't think they'll let go. I think they'll want their cake and eat it. This suits the studios. They don't have to give away a cut of their revenue, their budget costs and stuff like that. They can recoup more money. And as we've seen with Disney, finally restructured their entire company to focus on the streaming service that is Disney Plus. So I think these studios are starting to come to terms with the fact that consumption's changing. This pandemic sped it up a little bit. It's a different world. And they're having to change their strategies to sort of meet that. Or they face being on the brink of bankruptcy. Even a studio like Disney and Warner Brothers and Universal, they're not... How shall I put it? They're not... They can go out of business in a sense. My brain's blanking. It's not good. Let's move on to the next topic on that note, guys. This one's slightly different. It's not as end of times for theatre companies and stuff like that. This is all about Killers of the Flower Moon, and apparently this movie is finally beginning to move forward. Leonardo DiCaprio he's been having some issues with the scriptwriter on this, the screenwriter I should say. And there's been back and forth. He wants to go deeper into the character he's playing in this. He wants it to go to a darker place than was originally in the script. And that's great for me as a fan of Leonardo. I trust this guy's vision. I trust this guy's opinion on roles and on movies in general. He's starred in so many great ones. If he feels the character has to go to a darker, deeper recess than what it currently is, then I'm going to go with him. But this is what the screenwriters had to say. And he's had this to say. He says, that's supposed to start filming in March. Eric Roth is a screenwriter, incidentally. He's a Hollywood legend, as they do rightly say. And once the COVID clears out, and it's Martin Scorsese, there'll be continuing rewrites with that. Leonardo wanted some things changed that we argued about. He won half of the arguments. I won half of them, so that's happening. That's almost like the little kid that gets the shit kicked out of him in school. And he comes home and says, you should see the other guy. He won half the arguments. You did not win half the arguments against Leonardo DiCaprio. He bitch slapped you around that screenwriting room, that script, whatever you call it, that room. And he told you what was happening. And you danced to his merry little tune. And you got those changes in. You made that character go deeper. Leonardo's the king of Hollywood. It's not Brad. It's not anyone else. It's Leonardo. He's the king. My king. I love this guy. I grew up watching this guy. What a tremendous actor he is. I'm excited for this movie, man. It's all based on, I believe, the fledgling FBI. There's some shenanigans going on in Native American reserves. Is that what you call them? And it's going to focus on all of that, the corruption. Try to get these indigenous people off their lands for oil and stuff like that. It's going to be fantastic, man. When you combine Martin Scorsese with Leonardo DiCaprio, magic ensues every single time. And I am supremely confident that they will work magic again on this. The fact that even the screenwriter admits himself that there's going to be a fine bit of honing going on after this between Leonardo, between Scorsese, perhaps with him as well. That's exciting. And look, they're doing the right thing, waiting until COVID clears out, because Martin Scorsese, that is, Marty, is getting on. He must be scraping his 80s now, if not older. COVID's dangerous for a guy like that. That could kill him. So it's the correct thing to do. We don't want him mixing with groups of people on set. You wait till it's gone, and then you let the man do his thing afterwards. And look, he's been doing behind the scenes documentaries about lockdown and stuff like that anyway, so he's keeping busy. The third topic on the show today, I feel like I'm off kilter here. I'm not quite centred. Let's move myself over a little bit. But now I don't look centred. What is going on with this room? It's an absolute den of iniquity. It really is. Between the wall behind me with my dog absolutely destroying it, looks like I'm in a Sarlacc pit. And just everything else, nothing ever seems to marry up the same on each individual day we do shows. It's different You set it up the same and it's always different. But look, I digress. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Leaks confirm that Civil War's lasting impact will be unveiled. It will be the focus of attention in this very intriguing TV show set to hit Disney Plus. It's going to be focusing on one particular character from the Winter Soldier and Civil War, and that character is, I'm trying to find the character. It's Carter. It's Peggy Carter's daughter. I'm sure it was her daughter, or a connection to her anyway. Sharon Carter. It's going to be focusing on her. She's apparently still a lady who is quite the fugitive. The state are still after her. And this is opening up questions from CBR.com. They are suggesting that this could be the theme of the entire show. That even the finger snap, taking out half of the universe and bringing them back with Tony Stark's moment of sort of sacrifice, even that isn't enough to get the state, the US government, off of these people's backs. They're still going to begin after Sam. They're still going to begin after Bucky. And they're still going to begin after Sharon Carter as well. And I think that's great. I'm not even going to read this article. I don't even know why I've got it up. It's just for visual elements, really, to show you what I'm talking about. If that doesn't help, that down there, it's mirrored, it's killing me. I think that's great because we know that they're going to bring in this other pretender. I'm trying to find the guy's name at the moment. I'm not a huge guy with mastery of the comic books and the characters. I'm more of a comic book movie man. But they're bringing in this imposter, John Walker, US agent. They're not happy with Sam being given the shield, with Steve Rogers passing the baton, over to his good friend. He's a wanted man. He's dirty to the state. They're going after him. They're going after Bucky. They're going after Sharon Carter. And they want the shield to be passed on to John Walker. And we've seen the shots, the brief little snippets of the trailers. John Walker and this other colourful figure. Sort of mismatched buddy element. We've got Bucky and we've got obviously Sam. We've got these other two pretenders. We've seen them sort of gallivant around in the trailer. And I think this is the way they're going to go with it. I fundamentally believe they are going to be focusing on this fugitive element in this show, and I think that's going to be absolutely fantastic. Being a big fan of movies like The Fugitive with Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones and other movies and TV shows with that concept, this is absolutely perfect. These guys who have been heroic, have saved half the universe, still being chased by the state, having to prove that they are good men once again. They don't have to prove it to us, but prove it to the people in charge. And then he finally reclaims what it says, the shield at the end. I think that's a perfect concept. And bring this character back. This is something that these TV shows allow us to do. Allow them to do, not us. I'm not involved at all. It allows them to focus on minor characters like Sharon. It allows them to focus on minor story elements like that you can't put in a big blockbuster MCU movie. It would get lost. People wouldn't care about it. They want to focus on galactic conquests and introducing the Eternals and new characters. This is where the TV shows shine. It's different, but it has the same production qualities. I am supremely excited for this TV show. I can't wait to see the first proper trailer, and I cannot wait to hear when it's releasing. It should have been out already, guys, and it's an absolute tragedy. But look, here's one thing I'm not excited about. The fourth topic on this show tonight, I'm not excited about this. Margot Robbie's teasing her Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and let's just bring the quote up. We'll read it. Zigga Zigga and stuff like that. That's me giving away my age. Spice Girls reference. I'm 31. Oh, it's a tragedy. This is what she's had to say. A lot of girl power. Yay! Yay! That's what we need in a Pirates movie, guys. We need girl power. These were ruthless guys out in sea for months on end. Nearly starving. Nearly dehydrating. Rough guys. There wasn't a lot of women. I am not a historian by any means when it comes to pirates and the age of pirates, but I don't think there was a lot of women hanging around on these ships. So right off the bat, I feel it's wrong to make it a female ensemble movie, and you're ditching Johnny Depp for this. I think it's wrong to make another Pirates of the Caribbean movie, period. I don't think it's something anybody needs in their life. I think it's been done to the death. The arse is well and truly ripped out of it, as we like to say here in Scotland. Ain't no need for it. But to make it female-led, have they not learnt from the 2016 Ghostbusters movie what an atrocity that was? No one watched it. Have they not learnt from Charlie's Angels? No one gives a shit. You need to stop forcing agendas. But look, I'm going off on a tangent. I'm ranting on my soapbox here. Let's read it. A lot of girl power. It's too early to talk about it, but I appreciate that you're psyched on the combo. I'm not. I love Christina, obviously. I'm not a producer on Pirates, so I'll sit back and kind of wait for the process the way that you're allowed to do as an actor. Which is nice. I don't have to stress about it just yet. We are really, really excited about the prospect of kind of adding a very key female element to that world. But it doesn't work, Margot. It doesn't work. It's forced. There was no female pirates, not that I'm aware of. You had Blackbeard, you had all these other lunatic male pirates going around killing people, plundering, drinking rum. There wasn't any female pirates. It doesn't work. It's forced, it's shit. No one will watch it. Put Margot Robbie in a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, by all accounts, yeah, that's fine. Surround her with a diverse male-female cast. You don't need another girl power movie, man. They don't work. They just do not work, and I don't want to see it. And I don't want to see it anyway, because Johnny Depp is Pirates of the Caribbean, and he's no more, because of all of this shit with Amber Heard, and all of the controversy that was stirred up. It's an absolute joke, and I'm not interested. But look, I'm going to move on to the section of the show which I like to affectionately term the blog rundown. It's where I urge all the viewers to go over to that link there, movieburnerentertainment.org/blog, to read some great movie reviews from our team of writers. We've thrown them a bone. And I go through 3 movie reviews I didn't touch upon on a previous show. This first one coming in from Dave D.M. Anderson. Oh, I've screwed up the macro. It's called Hosts. Very interesting. She looks like an Oompa Loompa with a bit of blood sprayed on her. By all accounts, a really good movie, this though. Dave speaks very glowingly of it. Good in the sense that it leaves a long-lasting impact in that opening scene. The death by... I'm going to catch myself before I say by all accounts again. It leaves a long-lasting impact on you. Very brutal. And he's right what he says. If you had that through a whole movie, it would lose its impact. One grotesque death is enough to stay with you for life. I've seen movies, man, which have grotesque deaths littered throughout. It doesn't stick with you. But Brad Pitt getting killed with 2 cars and Meet Joe Black, that stuck with me for a long time. And that wasn't even a horror movie. That was a rom-com movie. And it was a very good one as well. I'm not shy to admit that I enjoyed that movie. Some great music. And Tony Hopkins. When you put Tony Hopkins in any movie, it's brilliant. I can't wait to see this one where he has dementia. But look, this is what he's had to say about it. It's hosts. They're possessing people. And they're very angry. And they're killing people left, right and centre. That's a general gist. Here's his summary. Much of the tension and suspense is created by the film's brutality and so small amount of mean-spiritedness, since these characters are mostly pretty likeable and don't deserve what happens to them. Nobody deserves death, Dave, unless they're a pedo or something, and then yeah, they probably do. And indeed, some of them die very badly, though nothing which matches the cruelty of that initial death scene. It'll take me a long time to get over that one, considering how many horror films I've seen. That really is saying something. Yeah, as I says, not everyone's desensitised to the point where they don't get disturbed by a particularly gruesome and grotesque death. It's absolutely fine, that means you're human. And look, I get desensitised with 2 people I worked with back in the day, 2 close friends, showing me heads, like smashed pineapples and stuff like that, people getting sniped and trucks driving over their heads and shit, so I'm completely desensitised, and even then I get spooked with some deaths in movies, so it's absolutely fine. But look, great review again from Dave. I'm going to move on to the next review. This is coming in from Peter Pluimers, the Belgian maestro, I like to term him. And me and Stephen were speaking about this movie a while back. I think we were contemplating reacting to the trailer, realised there wasn't enough standout moments to actually give you a good reaction, bailed on it, but we did speak about it on a show. I'm absolutely certain of that. It's Bill Murray, and it's Sheila Jones, and more importantly, it's a Sofia Coppola directed movie, and she's a fantastic filmmaker. Actually, I think she is related to Francis Ford Coppola. I think Peter actually does say who she is in the review, and in terms of a connection to Francis Ford. But look, man, this did look very interesting, and in a sense, he's breaking down just other movies that were like that. Lost in Translation. I think it was Bill Murray and Sofia Coppola who actually... Coppola, I can't speak. It's been a long day. A long day. They worked in that movie as well, by all accounts. And yeah, he's right. I love Bill Murray too. This is a guy who can do everything. Absolutely everything. He can do comedy movies. He can do Groundhog Day. And he can do, as he does say, a wide variety of different genres. Horror, everything. And that is really a mark of a great actor. He's not pigeonholed himself into a particular genre over a wide and illustrious career. He has done it all, and he can do it all, and he's so charismatic, and even when he's an arsehole like he was in Groundhog Day, he's such an enjoyable watch, because you just live vicariously through that arseholeness, and it's great. By all accounts, he's playing a loving father in this movie, who's wanting to find out whether his daughter's partner has been unfaithful. He's becoming a bit of an investigator, a private investigator, and yeah, I'll read the man's review. Summary of the review. I'm getting caught in my words here. Much of the... No, I'm still on the previous review here. Jesus Christ, get your shit together, John. I've got it on the screen in front of me, that's why. On the Rocks is about marital troubles, a complicated father-daughter relationship, and also about how people get lost in the turbulent and chaotic society in which they live. It's not another masterpiece of Coppola, but surely it's another successful cooperation between Coppola and Murray. I quietly hope that they will work together again in the future. I sincerely hope we do too. Peter, he's getting on in years, but he's not so old that he can't do a couple of other good movies with perhaps Coppola and with anyone in general. I like it when this genre's touched upon. I like it when this concept's touched upon. We've seen it with perhaps a different kind of movie, but Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver and Laura Dern, the complexity of marriage and the complexity of life and emotions, and how modern day life isolates people and it conflicts people and it changes them and gets in to the little nooks and crannies and the very fibre of a human being. And when that's done right and it's explored, it is a very exciting watch, even though it shouldn't be. It should be quite mundane, looking at through the glass eye at very normal people doing things that normal people do. It should be crap, but when it's done right, it's good. And look, by all accounts, this is not too bad. It's not a masterpiece, Peter does say. Look, I'm going to watch it at some point. I love Bill, and I will give it a bash at some point when we're not consuming lots and lots of indie movies and other stuff. And I'm enjoying indie movies, so I'm not even going to complain. I'm going to be watching Scam 1992 tonight, a TV show. Very excited about that. We're going to be reviewing that tomorrow, so that's going to be interesting. That's another genre I like a lot, the sort of scamming. Is it philanthropist? Is that what you call it? When a guy is a bit of a hoorer and tourer, he's a bit of a rich man, and he everything sort of falls on his lap. I don't know if that's correct. I'll search it up after. But I'm going off on a tangent. Let's move on to the third and final movie review on tonight's blog rundown. It is 2067. As you can see, I've completely screwed that there. I don't know what I've done. Wow, I selected it to paste it over onto the description and I forgot to click it off. How very unprofessional of me. Yeah, as you can see, very interesting poster. It's a sort of dystopian, futuristic, dark movie. The humans have ran out, the earth has ran out of sort of plant life and, yeah, plants in general. Oxygen has diminished to zero. They are using a synthetic oxygen which is killing them slowly but surely. It's giving them a sickness. And there's portals involved. They have to get back and are forward in time, and there's a lot of mystery and suspense in here. But this is what Dave's had to say about it when focusing on a piece of a puzzle. Piecing the puzzle together. 2016, Jesus Christ, 2067 is often pretty interesting, though I'm not sure how well the resolution stands up to any real scrutiny. And for a moderately budgeted sci-fi film, the production design and CGI are impressive. However, Ethan is a dull protagonist. That's concerning. Protagonist, generally speaking, has to hold the whole movie together, so if he's dull, not off to a good start. Even with all the emotional baggage, Jude, his surrogate guardian charged with keeping him safe, mostly serves to create superficial conflict. Unfortunately, those two bickering buddies dominate most of the screen time. Still, the film's pessimistic assessment of humankind befits the bleak subject matter, which certainly keeps it watchable. Some viewers might even walk away thinking the future world of 2067, it's not 2016, guys, that's not in the future, that's in the past, doesn't deserve the last ditch opportunity to bail itself out. I don't know if that was what that writer-director Seth Larney's intent, but he presents a strong argument. Yeah, look, there's been lots and lots of dystopian, futuristic movies made in recent years, the likes of that one, was it Io? It was on Netflix. I think it was Anthony Mackie and someone else. That was okay. Blade Runner 2049 with Denis Villeneuve, panned by audience members, didn't do well. It was a flop financially, but I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It wasn't a patch on the original, it's a cult classic, but it was pretty damn decent. Hit and miss, man, this genre, hit and miss. Sometimes it gets a little bit convoluted, it gets a little bit too up its own backside, and yeah, they lose track of what the hell it is they're trying to do, man, and yeah, it is what it is, man. It's a hit and miss genre, like any genre really. But look, I'm not going to watch that one. I'm not going to lie, Dave. You've kind of put me off it with the dull protagonist. But it was another extremely well written movie review. And look, that's going to round the blog rundown up. So once again, I will urge you to go over to movieburnerentertainment.org/blog if you want to read any alluring movie reviews over there. You'll certainly get movie reviews with no ulterior motives or agendas. It's just film fans sharing their opinion on a mixed bag of movies, in a sense, including me. But look, let's move on to the fifth movie topic on the show tonight. It's Zack Snyder. I'm just riffing like hell here. It's absolutely shocking. That's what happens when you eat protein brownies before you come on a show. Zack Snyder's been discussing Star Wars and how he would like to direct it and not discuss it. He was discussing it, but he doesn't think he fits into Disney's universe. This has come in from Screen Rant, and there you can see a man who wears a vest very, very well, a waistcoat, not a vest, and a shirt by all accounts too. Absolutely jacked, is Zacky boy. And he's had this to say: I think I've gone over this a little bit in the past. I am a huge Star Wars fan. I can certainly see that with that last sentence. The reason why I started making movies when I was 11 years old. You started making movies when you were 11 years old? Jesus Christ, Zach. You get ahead of yourself there. You didn't have a camera at that age, how? It was because of Star Wars. For sure it has been a huge influence on me, and it really got me into this mythic path with Joseph Campbellian take on archetypes and storytelling. Yeah, Star Wars is that to me. I have interest in Star Wars. I don't think I have a story written now that I don't know how I'd fit into the Star Wars universe anymore. Like, I don't know what it is. It's a thing I love, but I don't know if maybe it's moved on from me. He's done lots of gaps here. It's very hard to read. He's thinking and pondering what he's going to say, and that doesn't make for a compelling read from a sort of third party. I still love it, and I have lightsabers everywhere around the house. Now, this brings me on to really the only reason I put this topic in. It's a filler topic. Let's not kid ourselves on here. It's to see the show out gracefully. And look, we're doing that at the end with Lady Gaga, but we'll get into that. Do I think that Zack Snyder deserves, or indeed should, direct a Star Wars movie well when you've brought in Rian Johnson, a little bald-headed, I was about to say buffoon, but he's not a buffoon. He's a very intelligent man. Anyone that's watched some of his other good movies like Brick Looper and Knives Out, they know that this guy knows his shit. He's a good director. Very astute filmmaker, screenwriter, everything in between. He gets good performances. Look at Daniel Craig and his Benoit Blanc character. I suspect foul play. You know he can do it. But this guy didn't do it in the Star Wars franchise, and he was gave the gig. So I guess what I'm saying is, when you employ Zack Snyder, when you employ Rian Johnson, and he makes such a pig's ear of it, and you then proceed to try and give him a trilogy of his own, then that kind of opens the door up for everyone. Not just Zack Snyder, it opens the door up for Kevin Smiths and people like that too, who are decent filmmakers, but they're on their way down. Zack's not on his way down. He's making a zombie movie, I believe, pretty shortly. I think it's made. And he has a very distinct stylistic sort of way about his movies. You watch them and you know it's a Zack Snyder movie, just like J.J. Abrams. And he done The Force Awakens, it was okay. He done Rise of Skywalker, it was absolutely shit. So I see no barrier to Zack Snyder directing a Star Wars movie in the future. Disney, Lucasfilm should be going off in a sort of path now, whereby they're not constricting themselves to sagas, to the mythology. Often do your own thing. As far as I'm concerned, it's fan fiction anyway. Very expensive fan fiction. And that opens the door up for a wide variety of different directors, filmmakers, to do their own thing, their own little sandbox in their own little part of the galaxy, or indeed universe. And Zack can make his own very trademark Zack Snyder-esque Star Wars movie, depending on where it's set and the characters. I don't want him touching any loved characters. Just do your own stuff. Come up with the story, pitch it to Lucasfilm, and look, I'm sure they'll be up for it. I'm sure there's no bias between the whole Warner Brothers and Disney, DC, Marvel stuff at the upper echelons of these studios. I'm sure they'll give you a chance, Zach. If they gave Rian Johnson a chance, they'll give you a chance. But look, final topic on the show tonight. I did say I was ending on Lady Gaga. Lord only knows why. Well, here is why. Because it's a movie I'm very interested in. It's Bullet Train. It's a Brad Pitt thriller. And it's been directed by David Leitch, a man who knows his shit when it comes to action movies, who knows how to create some slick, choreographed action on screen. This guy's done Atomic Blonde. He was involved in the first John Wick movie. He was a stunt coordinator at the beginning of his career, he understands the very essence of what it means to create good stunts and good slick action. So when you pair him with this concept on a train on its way to, where is it on its way to? I think it's on its way to Tokyo or something. I'm pretty sure it was Tokyo it was going to. And it's this guy, he's fighting various adversaries and stuff like that. Brad Pitt. It's a Sony action thriller, man. It's David Leitch. And you look at the other cast. Joey King, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, my dog, snoring. Harley, how very rude of you. You're trying to interrupt my show here, my man. Come on, get your shit together. Aaron Taylor-Johnson, another guy who knows how to do action movies. He's done the likes of The Wall. John Cena. Really good movie. Can't remember the name. He was in Tenet. He was in, obviously, Kick-Ass 2. He knows how to do action movies. He's a very compelling actor. Always grabs your attention when he's on the screen. He's getting ridiculous hairline and stuff like that. Cool accent. Zazie Beetz as well. She was in the most recent Deadpool 2. Knows how to do lots of action. Brian Tyree Henry. There's Michael Shannon. What a cast this movie has. And it's added Lady Gaga. And years gone by, I thought, why is it adding Lady Gaga? But as they rightly say down here in this article, you watch some of the, or look at some of the list of movies she's been in. Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, Machete Kills, Muppets Most Wanted. She was in A Star Is Born. She's a decent actor. She's okay. And as long as she's not got too meaty a role, I'm sure she'll be absolutely fine. If she's some set dressing or she's a sort of side character, then it's absolutely fine, man. Maybe she's playing the wife who's on the phone worrying about Brad Pitt. That's very misogynistic again. I'll not turn it into a sort of channel like that. Very open, liberal-minded people on this channel. But look, man, very excited for it. That cast has got me really, really anticipating this movie. The concept had me anticipating it. Anyway, I spoke about this movie before it had anyone attached to it apart from David Leitch. And it just gave me immediate vibes of Train to Busan meets Snowpiercer. This guy having to move up a train. It's very claustrophobic. It's constricted. Action. And that paints a whole sort of complex series of pictures for the cinematographer and everyone involved. How they're going to put this together. I cannot wait to see Brad Pitt. A man in his mid to late 50s kicking arse. He's absolutely ripped. All this talk about him retiring after... let's go back to myself. Retiring after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Going off to do joinery and stuff like that. It's like, what are you doing, Brad? Come on. Come on, mate. You are an actor. You're an A-lister. You belong here. You belong working with people like David Leitch. You've still got it in you, mate. Tom's doing it, you can do it. But look, I'm excited for it. I don't know if you're excited for it, and that's precisely what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass the questions over to you. That's going to round the show up tonight. What's your thoughts on Wonder Woman 1984? Doing a dual release strategy. It's going to release on HBO Max on digital Christmas Day in the States and in theatres for people who like to share the communal experience and potentially catch coronavirus. Don't know what it's going to do over here. We don't know that yet. No one gives a shit about the UK, really. We're a backwater country now, thanks to Boris and his multi-gang of backward sort of history-obsessed bitches. What's your thoughts on The Falcon and the Winter Soldier? This concept of exploring the fugitive aspect of Civil War. Sharon Carter, I hope that's her name, and all of the other gang are still on the run from the state. What it's going to create for this TV show. What do you make about Killers of let's try that again. I'm slurring my words, I'm that tired. What do you make about Killers of the Flower Moon? As well, it's finally moving ahead. Do you give a shit about Margot Robbie doing a Pirates of the Caribbean movie? What do you make of the blog rundown? Zack Snyder potentially directing a Star Wars movie in the future. And finally, Lady Gaga joining a Sony thriller called Bullet Train with Brad Pitt, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Michael Shannon, Brian Tyree Henry. The list is endless. What's your thoughts on it? You can comment below and let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel if you want to see my ugly mush in the future with Stephen. And if you do, you'll get us here tomorrow reviewing Scam 1992. A couple of episodes anyway. I'm not going to commit to the whole TV show. It's 10 episodes. And you'll get us doing movie news, shows and reactions in the future. But look guys, until then I'm going to bid you farewell with a very short and sweet bye-bye.